of these. So, yeah, don't worry. So I gave you new ones. So for the prayer, no, that's the peace on earth. There's 3 slides for this now. So make sure you have that one uploaded. So we're right on the 10 o'clock hour. Oh, let me do that one. We're going to do something new again, go figure. We are affirming. We're affirming that we are going to house and love and hold an abundance and plethora of children. And if that little spirit doesn't show up in our little ones today, then I'm going to invite 2 of my teachers to come forward now. And we're going to do a little exercise, and it's a little prelude to what we're going to do during the service. So if any little children sneak in, you want to encourage them to come to the front. Thank you. But meanwhile, I'm going to invite the whole congregation to get as small as you can in your seat, just as small as you can. And feel in your hand that heart space. Feel that beautiful, beautiful pumping of the heart. That place filled with love. And as we're beginning to feel that love grow, I'm going to invite you to begin coming fuller into your chair. To come fuller into your chair. That's still not working. Yolanda, I don't know that that's working, is it? Yep, okay. Okay, so we're now growing like the trees and the leaves, and I want you to put your hands way up in the air, and our heart space is that big. Our heart space is that big, and we are twinkling, and our little lights that you see right here are glowing, because this, oh, look, I get one too. I get a miracle of a purple one because we know that's the divine inspiration inside each and every one of us, that we today are going to let our little heart shine, that we today are the absolute miracle that we call life. And for joining us and being a part of this, we bless you, we welcome you, we honor you, and we certainly love you. And so it is. Amen. Well done, y'all.
God is my source, God is my power, God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. Let's warm the hands up. God is my source, God is my power, God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. God is my source, God is my power, God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. God gives me everything I need. God gives me everything I need.
Good morning, everybody. Am I on? Okay, fine. The button says I am, but that's okay. You can hear me though, right? Yeah. We need it for the recording though. Yeah.
Hello?
Okay, now I'm on. Oh, okay, they're giving me signals. Sorry. I'm Marley Milner, and I am so blessed to be here today as your platform assistant. And we are going to start the day by talking about our mission. And here we go. Follow me. We are an affirming, heart-centered community, co-creating spiritual evolution and illuminating pathways to the divine presence. Indeed.
I come to this cafe every couple days or so, just to wallow neath the cobwebbed chandelier. The coffee tastes okay, the green chili's just so-so, but the scenery is why I keep coming here. She moves between the tables like a dancer, pirouettes with a grace and quiet strength I've never seen, until she finally floats my way, says, "What are we having today?" So I crack a joke about her joining me, and she says, "Actually, my shift is coming to an end. Would you mind if I just sat a while with you? It's been a real hard night and I sure could use a friend, just a sympathetic here to get me through. Would you mind if I had breakfast with you?" She shared with me the trials of a single mom of two, with an ex she hasn't heard from in years. And she beat back the cancer, though it left her black and blue, and the bills upon her table soaked in tears. And still she's counting up her blessings, says she loves her job today, 'cause it might just be the best gig she's ever had. Oh, I just sit and listen, 'cause I don't know what to say, but I realize my troubles ain't that bad. 'Cause she said, "Actually, my shift is coming to an end. Would you mind if I just sat a while with you? Yeah, it's been a real long night and I sure could use a friend, just a sympathetic here to get me through. Would you mind if I had breakfast?" Ooh, all this time I longed for sunrise to make my day. Turns out I was there to reflect it back her way. Well, I wish that I was able to say we fell in love, having found our happily ever after friend. But when next I took my table, she had quit this job she loved, and I never saw her face ever again. I suppose we never know, all we reap and all we sow, what we mean to all these folks we hang around. But I pray that we see through the lie of who saves who before we're buried deep in common ground. She said, "Actually, my shift is coming to an end. Would you mind if I just sat a while with you? It's been a real hard night and I sure could use a friend, just a sympathetic ear to get me through. Would you mind if I had breakfast with you?"
Hi there, everyone. I do this today to send grace and love out to the entire earth and the universe and all of us. We need this beauty in our hearts. So here we go again. All right. I'm Forrest, if you didn't know. I'm prayer chaplain for today. I am a prayer chaplain and have been for almost 3 years. Oh, yes, okay. I'm getting coaching from back. Yes. Can you hear me okay? Okay. Well, the red light is on. Hello. Testing, testing. I can talk really nice and loud without the microphone. All right, I'll be available in the back for prayer after church. And if you have a prayer request and you want to put it if you want to put it in the box in the back, feel free. It'll be prayed upon often. Okay, here's our daily word. Aware of my wholeness, I am continually healing. My body is in a continual state of healing, cell by cell, tissue by tissue. My entire being is rejuvenated. Keeping this truth in mind helps me align my thoughts with wholeness. Prayer leads me into a peaceful, restful place where I become more aware of the pure life, energy flowing through me. Here I reconnect with my divine source and remember my divine nature is wholeness. Even when I feel less than healthy, I am an expression of infinite divine life. Life energy flows through me and repairs, replenishes, and renews my mind and body. I give thanks in advance for positive results as I affirm, I am whole, I am strong, I am free. But those who wait for the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings like eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint. That's from Isaiah 40:31. Thank you.
You can play the game, you can act out the part, but you know it wasn't written for you. Tell me, how can you stand there with your broken heart, ashamed of playing the fool? One thing can lead to another. It doesn't take any sacrifice. For father and mother and sister and brother, if it feels nice, don't think twice. Just shower the people you love with love. Show them the way that you feel. Things are gonna work out fine if you only will. Do as I say. Shower the people you love with love. Yes, and show them the way that you feel. Things are gonna be much better if you only will. You can run, but you cannot hide. This is widely known. What you plan to do with your foolish pride when you're all by yourself alone? Once you tell somebody the way that you feel, you can feel it beginning to ease. I think it's true what they say about that squeaky wheel always getting the grease. It's far better to shower the people you love with love. Show them the way that you feel. Things are gonna work out fine if you only will. What I like to do to you, shower the people you love with love. Yes, and show them the way that you feel. Things are gonna be much better if you only will. Shower the people you love with love. Show them the way that you feel. That's your part. You're my backup singers. The people you love with love. Show them the way that you keep that going. They say in every life a little rain must fall. Just like the pouring rain, make it rain the way that you feel. Make it rain, love, 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 and sunshine. All right, make it rain, love, 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 and sunshine. All shower the people you love. Show them the way that you feel. Beautiful.
Right? That could mean something really different in Holland. Oh, and now I'm going to take you to meditation like that's going to work. All right. Another deep breath in. I've only been once. All right, so just take this beautiful sentiment, this holy laughter, and take a breath in. And another breath in. For that power of 3, the angels speak. One more breath in. We are centered in spirit. If only we could share this holy laughter across the airwaves, that we could see hearts filling up with joy and gladness, that we could replace anything that does not feel like love. This morning early, across the ethers, I reached out to a friend in Ecuador, Gabriel of the Light. I said, hold the congregation in sacred space. Play that beautiful crystal harp. So just imagine we have the soft guitar in the background. We've had the twinkling from Forrest this morning. I said, are you calling in Tinkerbell or Peter Pan? Allow that joy and laughter to fill our hearts. And just know that this holy place right here is being held by Gabriel of the Light and so many others, whether they're across the airwaves Or maybe they're cozy in their home this morning. We are the light workers. We are the light bearers. Coming from our own heart space, I invite you with all the joy that we have this morning to fill this congregation, this building, this beautiful city, Colorado Springs. Reach out to our neighbors, whether they're in Pueblo or Manitou, or maybe they're sitting in their living room in Arizona. Keep reaching across the desert, across the mountains, across the seas and the borders. Imagine for a holy moment, peace. Take another breath in and release. We are the peace we mean to see in the world. We hold it in our consciousness. We speak it with our words. Allow yourself to be that incredible emissary of light. Allow yourself not to feed into the horrors of the world. Instead, be like those children this morning in our little heart space as they widen and broaden their horizons, and they're lifted up with colorful lights. They're filled with hope. They're filled with love. For we know it is easy to love those that are close to you. Let's take the words of Jesus and love those who are not so close, that we don't understand. And yet we are the light workers. We've signed up for this. We are fully ready, fully charged. Imagine whatever light it is that speaks to you. Purple, green, yellow, white. Live your light for these beautiful gifts and more. We say thank you to the Spirit that dwells within each one of us, the one that reaches across the aisles in all forms, across the borders of all lands, and know that we are called to do this work, and we are ready, and so it is. Amen.
So I came in this morning not knowing exactly what to play, and Reverend Tracey made an excellent suggestion. And I was like, I think I can do this song. I've heard it many times, and you have too, but I've never performed it for anybody. So I was back there writing down the lyrics as I remembered them, because I left my phone at home. And I'm playing this in front of all of you for the first time ever. I am a professional. Don't try this at home. Imagine there's no heaven. It's easy if you try. No hell below us. Above us only sky. Imagine all the people living for today. Imagine there's no countries. It isn't hard to do. And no religion too. Imagine all the people living life in peace. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. Perhaps someday you will join us, and the world will live as one. Imagine no possessions. I wonder if you can. Nothing to kill or die for. Brotherhood of man. Imagine all the people living life in peace. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I know someday you will join us, and the world will live as one. Thank you for your help. I really appreciate it.
Beautiful Jeremy's rendition of John Lennon. That was absolutely fabulous. Thank you. And that is our miracle, if we could live as one. As one. So, as I prepared for our talk today, since I'm the newbie in town, I wanted to see what makes this area so incredibly special. Not only is it because I come and every single morning I look out and I see the mountains. I'm like, yes. And the other day, Friday, I think I've shared with you, I grew up in Denver, in Aurora. I'm going to date it. 1969 to 1976. And Friday was the first time I've been back to Denver since 1978. So interestingly enough, I looked at the mountains as I'm going down the road, and how many are snow-covered, right? And I thought, what do you mean you're getting more snow than we are? But it was just an amazing drive. And you guys know the drive, right? It's about an hour. It's not really exciting. But to me, it's like a child with all things new as I'm looking at the landscape. And I'm reading the little townships. And I'm going to meet 6 different ministers, all unity, and we all different. So it was a lovely drive, and it was a lovely drive back. And on the way back, I stopped by, I guess it's kind of where the Air Force Base is. And I pulled over. It actually says you can pull off the road. And I did. And I just looked over the horizon. And I thought, what an amazing place this is. What beauty is right here, sometimes stark like the desert. And right now we're in winter, so I'm not seeing a lot of greenery, but the trees without the leaves are like they are cascading into the heavens. I thought, what an amazing place. And then I had to go to Garden of the Gods, right? Because you can't skip gods when you're doing all this magnificent work. So this is the basis of the miracle of yes. And we are following along in Reimagine, the Unity booklet for Lent. And this was the inspiration. And I wanted to know more physically about this area, why it's called the healing waters. And you guys, most of you, probably already know. But if you're semi-new to the area, I'm going to bring you some history. So Manitou Springs, the Ute people called the mineral springs breathing waters. breathing waters. And I thought every time we say spirit, that has an air conductive proponent of it. So when we're talking about spirit and we do our little meditation, we go, breathe in and breathe out. So these healing waters are called the breathing waters because each spring had its own spirit and healing purpose. I thought, what a cool place to be. If you say the word Ute, the native tribe, it is almost like a breath. Ute, Ute. So I understand it's actually the English translation for the indigenous tribe, the Nuchiu, meaning the people. The people. The people gathered here. The Ute, the Cheyenne, the Arapaho, and they called this the breath of the Great Spirit. And no matter what their conflict was, they would not war on this land. This is a land of peace. All the tribes recognized it. We are in the midst of the land of peace. Metaphysically, you might look at that and say, what do I hold in my body? The manifestation of spirit. I can hold peace. So as I looked it up, it was founded as a health resort in 1872 for the settlers and the people already knew about the healing waters, and they came here for the cure. They came here for the cure, not unlike our own Myrtle Fillmore when she moved to Pueblo. Did y'all know that her first two children, her first two boys were born in Pueblo, Colorado? She loved it so much, and she had family and friends there, that when, the man of the household, Charles, got this idea that they had to go to Kansas City, it was all about following the real estate. It was the booming land, and they get there, and it bombed. They lost everything they had. And Myrtle was in the midst of really having some struggles with her breathing. Those breathing waters had been her healer. And she turned to the family and she said, I want to go back to Pueblo. I want to go back to my friends and my neighbors. And then Charles had a dream. That dream kept them in Kansas City. When he was in Colorado, he met a woman named Nona Lovell Brooks, who founded Divine Science, another one of our new thought, I will say, religions, practices, movements. So, he wasn't going to get away with just being Charles, right? When Myrtle got her message, Charles, too, was soon to follow. But he was the scientific one. He wanted to prove these theories of health that lives vibrating in our cells, that God consciousness, for he was not a religious man. The Ute people also looked up at Pikes Peak. Do you know what they called it? The Sun Mountain. When you get up in the early morning and you look up on that mountain, it's different every day. I love being in the office that I am. I didn't move my desk in the way that would actually have made sense in the office because I want to look out that window every day and talk to that amazing mountain. The Spanish explorers came through in the 16th century and they called it Almagra for red, the red coloring. And we know by 1859 the big gold rush came here, and old Colorado City was founded as a Colorado territory. General William Jackson Palmer, a Civil War hero and railroad visionary, planned this as a resort town, a place to rest, a place to dream, a place to be replenished in the healing springs and this clear air. This beautiful place that we can create anything in our imaginations. And so you also know, many of you, Catherine Lee Bates. She was an English professor at Wellesley College, and she came to Colorado to teach. And what is she famous for? She wrote this little song that became pretty popular in this nation called America the Beautiful. And what I did not know is she did 3 renditions of it. And the oldest of them, her first line says, "Oh, beautiful for halcyon skies." For halcyon skies. Do you know what that means? Neither did I, so I had to look it up. Loosely translated, it means a sacred pause. It means peace that feels like a blessing. Think about that. On this land, near these healing, breathing waters, peace that feels like a blessing. Oh, beautiful for halcyon skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountains' majesty above the enameled plain. God shed his grace on thee till souls wax fair as earth and air, and music hearted sea. That's the original rendition, somewhat different from the one we see. And crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea. That was not her language. Her language was one of dreams. Her language was one of imagine. Imagine, reflect, go inside. What can you imagine your earthly life to be? Till paths be wrought through wilds of thought, uncharted ideas, hopes, the raw primal terrain of our consciousness, our inner world vast, wild, not yet shaped by pilgrim foot and knee. And I thought about that. What is a spiritual pilgrim? Not a Mayflower pilgrim. I'm talking about the one who hikes up the mountain and knows God. I'm talking about the one that does the pilgrimage to El Camino de Santiago, the one who crawls on their hands and knees and lays down anything that encumbers the physical body. There's a beautiful place in southern France called Saint Baume, where the kings and the queens crawled up the mountain to recognize the holy spot of Mary Magdalene. A spiritual pilgrim is looking, seeking, acknowledging, and living into the truth of who they are in spirit. This land is that holy pilgrimage. So we're going to go down the Bible story for just a minute, because you know, if we're talking miracles, we got to go to Bethesda. Bethesda is this little tiny pool with 5 porticos. And I had to look up what 5 meant in the metaphysical world. 5 represents humanity. 5 porticos to this pool of troubled water. And what does troubled water mean in unity? It means we in our soul connection are beginning to look at what is true for us. And if you recall the story, this man for 38 years sat beside these troubled waters. And Jesus comes to him and says, "Do you want to be healed? Do you want to be healed?" And we know those friends of ours, because it's never us, right? Oh, I have this belly ache. Oh, I have these aching joints. And after you hear that over and over, it gets a little monotonous and maybe a little boring. And the question might be, do you want to be healed? Do you want to be healed? And I looked up what 3 means in the world of metaphysics. And I also looked up what 8, because it wasn't 37 or 39. It's 38. And 3 is the divine pattern. When I say let's take a breath and we do it 3 times, it's the divine Trinity. And for us in unity, it is mind, idea, and expression. And for those who are more traditional, it's going to be Father, Son, and Holy Ghost. It's the divine Trinity. And 8, imagine what an 8 looks like. 8 is an infinity sign, right? And infinity means there's no beginning and no end. What is the resurrection? No end. So here we are in this divine mind, and that we're forever part of this cycle together. So this man is in the troubled waters, and he's looking beside it, and he says, "But nobody will take me and put me in the water." Where do we learn self-responsibility? Why are we waiting for someone else to do our work? When are we going to stand up and take our mat and walk? For that's what Jesus said. If you want to be healed, pick up your mat and walk. And what did the man do? Well, he didn't lay down doing yoga, y'all. Come on, work with me. He picked up his mat and said, I do want to be healed. And if you've ever read any of the Bible stories, Jesus said, it is not me that heals you. It is your faith. Your faith. So when are you ready to lay down what is no longer serving you, which is what we talk about during Lent? You don't have to give up the good stuff like coffee, chocolate. You get to give up things like gossip, putting yourself down, using language against people that is derogatory, oppressive. We get to look and examine at our own lives and say, I can do better. What did Maya Angelou say? When you know how to do better, you do better, right? Aspirations to live a better life, a healthier life, one that we can stand tall, not be squished down, but we let that light inside us rise. We let the resurrection occur. The time for infinity is now. We have the choice. We have the power. I was joking this morning as we were trying to get all the microphones to work. Who remembers the $6 million man? Who remembers the bionic woman? Right. So I was thinking as they were plugging me in and trying to plug me in, I think it's now iRobot, and I went, we have the technology. We have the power. We are the ones we're waiting for. So wake up. Pick up your mat and walk. I don't care. Pick up your mat and run. Pick up your mat and give it to someone else. Let's all do this. Let's come together and know that we are in the power right now of being the most incredible beings that we've ever come to shine to be. And for those who sit on the sidelines and go, I'm not sure I'm ready. Well, I'm going to invite you to come to my class. I'm going to do a little 2-second thing right here. Let them, so I can let me. So we can give ourselves full permission to be exactly who we meant to be in this lifetime. We're not waiting for the next one because I don't remember the last one. So let's do this one. Let us rise. Let us pick up our mat and walk. And every day becomes our miracle. Every day becomes our day to shine. And for those who are around you and they're kind of still stuck in the mud, well, have you ever done? Look at your neighbor. Because sometimes when you smile, they wonder what you've been up to. So, remembering who we are, our beautiful, divine, and wicked little selves, let's get into some mischief and let's do it together. Amen.
All right. Am I on? Okay. Join me in our blessing of offering. If the ushers would please come forward. We hold our gift to our heart and fill it with the intentions of grace, love, and peace. What goes out into the world multiplies, serving the beauty and the world to the fullest. And so it is.
The kindergarten play is where a toddler comes of age. So you told your dad that you'd be taking center stage. He lit up like the moon, his smile came unfurled. He said, of course I'll be there, wouldn't miss it for the world. And you believed his pledge was ironclad and couldn't bust. Before so many shattered and you lost all sense of trust. But in that precious moment, you couldn't feel much higher. The promise when you're 5 years old is all that you require. Flowers on the trellis and tears in mother's eyes. Bridesmaids matched in dresses, more than half of them despise. A dinner fit for harvest with a cake that's 4 feet high. Nothing lasts forever, but you vow you're gonna try. You overheard a whisper between the first and second course, how the best will have their troubles while the rest end in divorce. But in that precious moment, you hold every soul's desire, 'cause the promise on your wedding day is all that you require. There's magic to the dawn right before the sun comes up, like spirit dancing wild just above your coffee cup. A brief and sudden shiver as you step outside the door, shaking off the thoughts that kept you up the night before. You held yourself to others, tossed and turned till you fell flat, but you broke free from your covers and stood up to all of that. Oh, your tired, broken heart still holds your feet up to the fire, 'cause the promise of another day is all that you require. The promise of another day is all that you require.
Brightening the room, and the sunshine is out there, and I can see it in your hearts as well. So it's so nice to have you all here today, and it's my pleasure again to be here as your platform assistant. We're going to talk about the sacred, I'm sorry, we're not going to talk about that at all, actually. I want to welcome the newcomers. Do we have anybody here for the first time? Raise your hand. Raise your hand. I love it. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We want you to be sure and sign up for the newsletter if you're interested. If you like what you're experiencing today, there's much more where this comes from. So please do so, and the ushers will give you some information that you can take with you. Thank you for joining us. We know you had choices today, and thank you for making us your first choice. Thank you. We are going to, bear with me. We're going to make announcements now. First of all, the flowers. Aren't they beautiful? Beautiful. Beautifully done. They are provided by Patsy Prather to honor her birthday and her husband Ian's birthday, heavenly birthday. Their birthdays are 5 days apart, and they always celebrated them together. So Patsy, thank you so much. Where are you, dear? Thank you. Beautifully done. We are going to have a Let Them theory class with Reverend Tracey. She just barely mentioned it. But it starts Tuesday, March 3rd from 10 to 11:30 in Fellowship Hall, and in person only. And if you aren't familiar with the work, it's a beautiful book, Mel Robbins' book, and If you are, it's a 6-week class, $120. Purchase your book through Amazon and other book outlets, or that comes to be $20 a class. So just so you know, I'm sure there's ways we can do it week by week. We'd rather have it up front, but you know. You all get it, right? Okay. I want to mention the metaphysical group meets on Thursday, March 5th at 6 p.m. in Fellowship Hall. Group topic is astrology, focused on our sun, our moon, and our rising signs. Does everybody know their sun sign? How about your moon sign? How many know your rising sign? Yeah? So we're pretty astute in this area. This is going to take us a little bit further, so it might be something very interesting for all of us. Bring your time of birth. All are welcome to attend. I think it's your time of birth and where you were born is important to determine what your astrological chart has in mind for you. We're going to continue the first Friday walks, art walks, as a way to bring us together outside of the church. And those are kind of like anybody who shows up, great. We'll gather when we get there. And this time it's going to be at the MAC, which is the Manitou Arts Center in Manitou. Just as you go into town, it's on your left. There are artists there that have their studios, which we can visit. And there will probably be music and food and all that kind of thing as well. So 6 o'clock was the meetup time. So if you're interested, please come and we'll find fellow flock members, I'm sure. Unity Annual Board Meeting, March 15th from 12 to 2 for Unity members and non-members. If you are a member and cannot attend in person, then please pick up or request an absentee ballot from the Unity office. Ballots must be turned in by 10 a.m. Sunday, March 15th. Members only can vote, but non-members are welcome to attend the meeting. So we're going to encourage all the members to get here and enjoy. We're going to be adding members to our board, and that will be an election. We will also hear from those people that day, so we'll know exactly what they stand for and who they are, and etc. Reminder that checking the Unity news, checking the Unity newsletter, bulletin board, online calendar, and Facebook pages, you will always get your updates. So be sure and do that. Now, phew. Absolutely.
So something I did at my previous church, and I have, besides a banking background, the last 10 years we're in the legal field. So I looked at our bylaws, and there are some people here who'd like to become a member. And it's been a little bit sticky how membership happens. And I'm all about the KISS simple. What is it? Keep it simple. Well, not the stupid part. So we looked at the bylaws and had the committee review them. And on the ballot to also vote in the membership meeting is to just make it not as cumbersome. So if you have a heart that is saying, I want to be here, I want to contribute to this community, I want to add value here because I can do X or Y or Z, we want you here. So there's going to be a 2-hour new membership meeting on March 21st because I know you're going to pass the bylaw. So it doesn't have to be as sticky and cumbersome. So I just want you to know there are a couple things going on during the meeting, and your presence is very much desired.
Thank you, Reverend Tracey. And now let's join in the... Oh, come up there. She wasn't on the list.
Just a friendly reminder that we have our special 5 Wishes workshop today after lunch at 11:45. And I'd like to invite Don Turner to come up for a moment. And we celebrate life, right? We celebrate end of life. We have a celebration of life service. So in the 5 wishes, we talk about how do we want to leave? What do we need to say? How do we want to be treated? Do we have any forgiveness? And do we want to say special things to our loved ones when we finish this packet? So we'll be going through all this information today from 11:45 to 1:30. Now, Dawn and my committee who has helped to plan this, thank you so much. Dawn, you had some special insight. I'd like you to share that also.
Hello, my special insight has to do with a comedian from the 60s by the name of Moms Mabley. Has everybody heard of Moms Mabley? Well, she had some thoughts about our loved ones as we pass and wanting them to be taken care of, kind of. Her favorite saying was, "When I die, I'm not having a will, no paperwork. I want it to be a sad day for everybody."
We look forward to seeing you at 11:45.
It's going to be hard to top that one. Absolutely. So now let us join in the prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. What I'm going to ask you to do is, is it on there? Oh, good. I'm sorry. So let's start again. The light of God surrounds us. I am that light. The love of God unfolds us. I am that love. The power of God protects us. I am that power. The presence of God watches over us. I am that presence. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. All right. I don't know, are we joining hands? Let's not too many people in here first. We can make it.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be with God our Creator. We are family. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let beings begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my solemn vow to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
We have little people. I guess they can't hear me, can they?